One character has already died in the first episode of House of the Dragon's second season, which is expected to be a bloody season with many more fatalities. Numerous cast members from House of the Dragon have already left the show, and many of the major characters from Season 1 have already passed away for a variety of reasons. The most significant event of Season 1 was perhaps the death of King Viserys Targaryen, which set off the Dance of the Dragons, a civil war in which his daughter Rhaenyra and son Aegon fight for control of the Iron Throne. In the first season finale of House of the Dragon, Prince Aemon Targaryen and his dragon Rhaegar killed Rhaenyra's son Lucerys Valerian, symbolizing the first bloodshed in the conflict. From that point on, war was all but inevitable, as the second season started with Rhaenyra wanting revenge for her son's death. The son of Aegon II and Rhaenyra Targaryen is killed by the assassin's blood and cheese, despite the fact that they declared Aemon to be their original target. Their instructions were to murder a son for a son. The events of the TV series are based entirely on events from the novel Fire and Blood. The assassinations in Blood and Cheese were not. But in the end, the outcome remained the same, as their first significant death of the season was Prince Jaehaerys Targaryen. The remaining major deaths of season 2 may be anticipated based on Fire and Blood, which explores the history of the Targaryen dynasty, including the full timeline of the Dance of the Dragons. Although the location of Season 2 on the book's timeline is unknown, estimates may be formed based on the number of episodes and the pacing of the series. So here are the characters that won't survive. 1. Rainey Targaryen, the queen who never was. Rainey Targaryen is the most well-known figure whose demise in House of the Dragon Season 2 is fitting. The choice Rainey made to join the Blacks at the conclusion of Season 1 was crucial to the developing tension and would have a long-lasting effect on the war. But her journey will probably end during the Battle of Rook's Rest, which is certain to be one of the season's most significant combat scenes. Considering the strategic moves that Criston Cole and Aemon started in Episode 1, this makes sense. As he states in the season opener, Cole used his expanding land force to move down the Crownland's coastline in the novel, taking castles and enlarging his army in the process. At Rook's Rest, the Blacks believe Cole has advanced with just his land army, and they anticipate an easy win by Dragonfire. When Rhaenys goes out on melees to engage them in combat, Aemon and Aegon II ambush her while riding Rhaegar and Sunfire. Rhaenys fights valiantly, defeating Aegon and Sunfire and seriously hurting the king and his dragon in the process. In the end, Rhaenys is killed by Aemon and Rhaegar's sheer bulk. Given her ancestral links, it's a terrible blow to the Blacks and will have long-term effects on Rhaenyra. Lord Corlys never fully regains faith in Rhaenyra because it was Rhaenys who convinced House Valerian to support Rhaenyra. It's unknown if this is depicted in the TV series as it is in the book because, after just one episode, House of the Dragon Season 2's book modifications are already mounting. 2. Melees. The dragon Melees unnervingly falls with Rhaenys when she does. Melees, one of the numerous dragons in House of the Dragon, is distinguished by her exceptional flying speed and crimson scales. Despite her incredible fighting skills, especially considering that one of the dragons is Rhaegar, she is defeated in the Battle of Rook's Rest in Fire and Blood. Melees is the second dragon to die in the dance, following Lucerys Valerian's Eryx. This marks the start of a lengthy sequence of dragon fatalities that happen in combat throughout the war. Melees had been bound to Princess Alyssa Targaryen before Rhaenys, who claimed her upon Alyssa's passing. Rhaenys and Melees have been riders and dragons for the longest period of time in the series, almost 2 decades longer than Daemon and Caraxes. Furthermore, that is a lot longer than the majority of the dragon riders on the show have ever lived. Given how well connected the two are in House of the Dragon, it is bittersweet that they fall from grace together. 3. The Cargy Twins. Eric and Auric. The Cargy Twins were first seen as members of King Viserys Targaryen's Kingsguard toward the end of Season 1. The Cargy Twins end up on different sides of the war after the division into Blacks and Greens. In the first season finale, Esser Eric Cargy went to Dragonstone to pledge allegiance to Rhaenyra and become a member of her Queensguard, while Esser Auric Cargy stayed with King Aegon II, both thinking they were on the right side of the battle. Naturally, this implies that in George R.R. Martin's universe, the two will eventually have to clash. Before organizing the Greens' army to attack Rook's Rest, Criston Cole in Fire and Blood contemplates strategies to quickly end the conflict. Cole arranges for Auric Cargy to assassinate Rhaenyra Targaryen by entering Dragonstone under false pretenses as his brother. Prior to discovering Rhaenyra, he encounters Eric, and the two brothers engage in combat, inflicting mortal injuries on each other. Given that this occurs before Rook's Rest, it is most likely happening quite early in Season 2 of House of the Dragon, indicating a brief arc for the Cargy Twins. In the world of Game of Thrones, brothers have frequently been pitted against one another. The most famous physical altercation included Sandor and Gregor Clegane, also known as the Hound and the Mountain. The idea that the two brothers would fight each other was known as Clegane Bowl, which is why the Cargy Twins fight is known as Cargy Bowl in House of the Dragon. However, the murders of the Cargy Twins are even more heartbreaking since, unlike the Cleganes, who were just hostile against one another prior to the conflict, the two had a true fondness for one another. 4. Blood. Although Blood is a significantly different character in the TV version than he is in Fire and Blood, they will probably have similar endings. In the second season opener of House of the Dragon, Blood and Cheese planned to assassinate Aemon Targaryen by breaking into the Red Keep, but they ended up killing Jaehaerys, the heir apparent to Aegon II. The Greens are obviously offended by this action, which infuriates the already irritated and irritable king. Although their destinies aren't revealed at the end of the Season 2 premiere, what happens to them is partially revealed in the novels. First of all, Blood is a butcher in Fire and Blood, not a City Watch member. He had formerly been a part of the King's Landing City Watch, but his membership was revoked due to his murder of a prostitute. He adopted this character in the show to better fit Daemon's arrival in the city. It is unknown if this alters his fate, although in the novel, he is discovered soon after and subjected to torture by the Greens in order to get information. He abandons Mysaria and is tortured to death. He would probably reveal Daemon's name in the TV version. Regarding Cheese, there's no conclusive proof in the novel that he survived or not. But after that episode, Aegon II gives the order to hang every ratcatcher in King's Landing. Then, in order to cope with rodents, Otto Hightower transports 100 cats inside the Red Keep. Otto isn't likely to back Aegon's careless mass execution of mostly innocent villagers, and he presumably won't overcrowd the Red Keep with cats, based on their chemistry in the show. And lastly, number 5, Jason Lannister. Given that the Battle of Rook's Rest appears not to be the season's climax, House of the Dragon season the 2nd of May end with yet another lesser war. The Lannister soldiers are shown mobilizing in the season trailers, suggesting that the season may reach the Battle of the Red Fort. It seems like the Battle of the Gullet will be pushed to Season 3, as it hasn't been in any marketing, and it would likely require hefty CGI for its dragon action, which might be too much after Rook's Rest. The most famous victim of the Battle of the Red Fort was Lord Jason Lannister of Castle Rock. In the first season of House of the Dragon, Jason is shown attempting to get Rhaenyra's approval for marriage. He's a notably arrogant man and wasn't too likable, but losing him sends House Lannister into disarray for the Greens, as his death causes House Greyjoy to launch a raid on Lannisport from the Iron Islands. It will be interesting to see how House of the Dragon builds this scene if it does occur in Season 2, as Jason Lannister isn't the most memorable character in the show. It could very likely be just a brief segment, as he's the most prominent character in the battle, and there are no dragons present. Still, Jason Lannister could be a key House of the Dragon Season 2 death toward the end of the 8-episode run. This is all for now. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.